So while we are building the animations in this 3D environment, we are able to use any sort of methods what you have learned for building the shapes, for moving the bodies, for rotating the objects. You are free to use them as a tool. But the addition, what you're going to learn in this chapter, in this week is, you are going to learn how to use the time frame. The time frame is this bottom area, which is in default start counting from 0 until the 100. If you would like to change anything related to time frame orientation, here we have a button called the time configuration. Once you click on here, you can just change anything related to time related things in here. What I'm going to do first is, I'm not interested in changing this PAL or film or NTSC. I'm just going to keep it as PAL. And in default, the PAL is going to have 30 frames per second. Means for capturing 1 second of video, it needs to render 30 frames. So if you would like to make a video which is for example lasting for 10 seconds, so you need to just make the end timing into 300 frames. So in every 1 second is going to contain 30 frames. So 300 divided by 30, it will cause you to have 10 seconds video. Okay, I'm happy with it. And here I'm just going to keep this setting on, active viewport only. This will make my computer to get less calculations, because it will just show the animation wherever the active viewport is. And you can keep it as loop if you want to watch it again and again. I'm going to keep it as loop. And the rest is going to be stay same. Okay, I click OK now. What I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to enlarge this viewport. Once I enlarge this viewport, I'm just going to build a box for making our first animation. So this is the box. I want this box to travel in the screen in some places. To make it to travel in the screen in some places, I'm going to put where the box will appear at what time. To manage it, I'm clicking on the Auto key. Once I click the Auto key, you see that the viewport is turning into red in color. This is a warning that now the setting may change the shape. Okay, what I do in here, first of all, I build a key when the box is there. After a certain amount of time, let's say at 100 frame, I set one more key in here. See that on the 100th frame and 0th frame, there's some sort of shapes appear. Those are about how will it be looks like. Then I select my shape, and now I'm dragging the shape in here. Clear? And I set the key for one more time. Then I drag it to 200th frame, and in this 200th frame, I'm just dragging it down to this corner, and I set it for one more time. At the frame 300, I set it one more time. Now I'm just going to drag it somewhere in the middle. Here it is. I set it. So what's expected to see, within these frames, the box should move. Actually, that's good. I just click the Auto key off. Now it's turned back into yellow. And now let me play the animation. When I click this play button in here, it is just playing the animation as we were expected to see. That's good. And do you remember that I had just clicked one button for the viewport only. Now I'm just going to see all the viewports. I'm looking in all the viewports, but just this viewport is enabled now because it's having a yellow border. When I play, it is just changing this box without changing the others. So that makes less in calculation. That means that using the sources of your hardware inefficient. Okay, that's good that we build our first animation. We are now dragging the shapes. That's good. I'm happy with it. But I just want to show you another thing. If I want to move my object on a path which is not a straight line, if I want to move the objects on a path, so in that case we need to make another sort of setup. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open the auto key and I select my box. When I select my box, I can now see the frames in here. I'm just dragging the rectangle. While the frames are selected, I just right click on them and I select the delete selected keys. Now the animation has gone. There is no animation remaining in the time frame. And I'm just going to delete also my box. That's good. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to draw a path. So the path is going to be a line and having the smooth sides. Smoothing the corner and smoothing by the dragging. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to click and drag to build a smooth frame, okay, a smooth pattern here. Okay, now this is a smooth path. That's good. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this path to have some certain changes. For example, I'm going to drag this vertex down and I'm just going to drag this vertex up. So it is like a roller coaster path. Some places are turning, some places are coming down and going up. That's good. What I'm going to do now is after I decide the structure of my path, I'm drawing a shape where we can see the different sides. The teapot is a good example for it, so I'm just going to draw a teapot in here. So this is the teapot. What I want to do is, I want to move the teapot on this path. So in that case, while the teapot is selected, we have a motion segment in here. Here we can define the setup related to motion. In default, the controllers are assigned for the position X, Y, and Z. Means dragging it as I did the cube. But in here, I want the position to change by the path. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select the assign constraints. And from the open window, I'm going to click the path constraints. And I click OK. Once I decide that the position is going to change related to the path, then I need to say that where is the path? And I click here the add path, and I'm just going to add this path. So once I click the add path, as you see that it just sticks on the path. That's fine. Now let me play the animation. Let me play the animation. Now that teapot is traveling on that track. That's good. Some places it's going up, some places it's coming down and just traveling inside that area. That's nice. But we have more flexibilities in here. For example, if you want that teapot to follow the track properly, you can just click here the follow. So once you click the follow, see that the teapot has turned towards the line. And when I'm playing the animation, it is just following the way as it is. Okay? And as you see that it is always traveling as a straight object. Let's say, for example, the roller coasters are having a sort of bendings when they are turning. If you make that effect as well, here we have a bank option. That bank option is working when the turn comes. Okay, let's play it now. When it's turning, look at it. It is just turning towards in and out. Okay, so that is like a roller coaster, which is in the shape of teapot. Okay, so that's how the animation can be done. I guess this is a good practice to apply the path. At home, if you do interesting, you can just draw a roller coaster for yourself, and you can just make a path, put the roller coaster on the rails, and enjoy it while it's traveling. This was the first practice. I'm going to show you another effect, which is about using the cameras. Then I'm going to combine using the cameras to the path for making a wormhole video. Okay? Have you ever seen what the wormhole is? It's a sort of tunnel which goes in and turning right and left, ups and downs, and you're just feeling that you're inside that the hole. Okay? So let's try to make it. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop playing that video and I'm just going to reset my viewport. Okay, I just reset my viewport. Instead of deleting everything in the tail, I just reset it itself. And I'm just going to set the configuration. Okay, let the configuration be in the hundreds. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put here some objects, what we haven't put before. That's under AEC extended and foliage. I'm just going to put here some trees. Okay, which sort of tree? Okay, big yucca. I just put the tree in here. And I'm just going to reduce the size of the tree into 40 centimeters. 40 is so small, let it be 55 centimeters. Okay, this is a tree what we have. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move this tree apart like this, and I just want to have, let's say, 6. Sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, I'm just going to drag it now, and I'm just going to have 6 trees copied on a path. That's good. Now we have a look of this, let's say, a sort of garden look. Okay? What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to place a camera in here. There are 2 types of cameras present in 3D Studio Max. First one is free camera. Second one is target camera. What I'm going to show you today is the free camera, at least in the beginning. So for putting the camera, I select the crate section. Under the crate section, we have the cameras in here, and I have select the free camera. Here's the free camera, and I just click it. Once I click, it just generates the camera. But I'm not happy about the look of the camera. It's pointing towards down. So from the top, I'm just going to rotate the camera towards front. Okay, now it is raised up. And I just want to turn the camera towards my, actually, trees, what I have just recently built. Okay, let it be like this in the beginning. In the perspective, that's good. Now, the camera is placed in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag the camera a little bit backwards in here. That's good. I just want to show you one thing. While you are dealing with the cameras, do not work only by seeing one viewport. It is better to see at least 2 viewports. One viewport should be about what the camera is recording. Second viewport is about where the camera is present. So I need to open the viewport layout tab. It's in here. And I'm just going to see in 2 viewports. One of them is going to be the perspective viewport for my need now. And I'm just going to, come on, I'm just going to turn it in the shaded mode. And I'm just going to bring it into original look. And the other one is going to be the camera. So I just click the camera and the shaded mode. So this is what the camera is capturing, and this is where the camera is present. When you drag it up, okay, now I can just select this, and when you drag it up, this is how the camera is looking now. That's good. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit downward like this, and this way a little bit. Okay, this is better. Okay, I like it this way, no problem. What I want to do is I want to make an animation, but before I go to that animation step, I just want to show you a modification of the cameras. Once the camera is selected, I just click on the Modify section. Inside the Modify section, we have several setups in here. You can just practice them yourself in the case of need, but I'm just going to show you the lenses in here, because that changes a lot. If you reduce the lens, you can see a lot of objects, but less in details. If you make the lenses to become bigger, now you will see a very small area, but more in details. For example, now I can count the branches, I can see the leaves, but I can just get the information about 3 plants only. So by dragging these values differently, you can just get different sort of zooming actions, zooming effects. Okay? What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use the 28 millimeter, this sort of lens. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag this camera in a way to generate a video. Very common mistake what you may do in the first time when you're using the camera is, you may forget that you are in the camera viewport and you try to drag the things in here. If you drag the things in the camera viewport, that usually disturbs the look, disturbs the observation. Better to keep always camera to be untouched. That is only to see what you are recording in. Okay, now I select the perspective look, I select the camera. At the 0th frame, I'm in here, that's good. At frame 50, I'm just going to move my camera in here, and I'm just going to rotate the camera this way. That's good. And then okay, let's see, that's good. At 100th frame, I'm just going to move my camera, here it is, somewhere down at here, and I'm just going to rotate it this way. Okay, so it is going to be a sort of recording of the trees. So the point is, as you remember that our results are changing when we play the video, is changing about the viewport only. So when I play it, it is just showing me what happens according to this viewport. If you really want to see what's really actually recorded in here, you need to change your viewport first, then you need to play the video. So here, the video is being captured in this way. Okay, so we have learned roughly how to move the objects, on a path, and how to use the camera. What if we combine them? Now we are going to make a good animation by using some simple tips and tricks what you already know. And those things what you have only studied within a few minutes in here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to reset everything whatever we did in here. Don't save. Yep, I just want to reset it. I'm just going to enlarge my area that it's going to have, every grids are going to have 25 centimeters the size, and I want to see 40 boxes in every dimension. I just want to study in a big amount of space. That's good. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to enlarge this viewport, and I'm just going to scroll out. That's good. My animation, what I'm going to build now, I want it to be passed within 5 seconds of timing. So I click on the time configuration. So 30 is the number of frames per 1 second. So if I want it to be passed in 5 seconds, so 5 times 30, it is 150 frames. That's good. I have just done it. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to draw a line as I did before. I click the smooth, and now I'm just going to select in here, and I'm just going to make this curve. Okay. Actually, I'm not so happy with the last one. Okay, let it be like this. So this is the path what I draw. What I'm going to do for this path is I'm just going to select the modify section in the vertexes. I just want to higher this area towards up, and I want to reduce this area towards down, and this one towards up as well. That's good. Now I accidentally hit this key. I just need to delete it now. Okay, that's good. So I just made a path. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to create a circle. The circle is big like this. And once I draw the circle, I'm just going to select my path, and I'm just going to click the geometry, compound objects, loft, and I'm going to get this shape in the beginning, and I'm going to get the same shape at the end. So this is a huge path area, that's good. Once I'm happy about the loft shape, actually let me just check, am I happy or not? Okay. Okay, this is the path where we will have the wormhole. I'm just going to select this path, select the loft. When the loft is selected, I don't need the caps in the beginning and ending. So it will be like a hole in that area. That's good. And I want that it will have a turbo smooth, means a little bit smooth in turns. That's good. I'm really happy with this look now. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to place inside in here a camera. Okay, so I just click the camera and a free camera is in here. I'm just going to click the camera, that's good. I will just set the camera's the motion into constraints. Okay, where it is? Okay, assign controllers. Position controller will be the path constraint. Okay, that's good. And now I'm just going to put that path as a path of the camera. That's good, it's placed now. I'm happy with it. And then I'm just going to let it follow. And as you see that the camera is looking towards down, I'm just going to change this axis into Y, into Z. Okay, the Z is true, but I need to flip. Now it's looking towards inside. That's good. That's as expected. And let me just play the video now. It is traveling inside here. That's good. I like it. Now, what is left is to put the structure for the that wormhole. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select the material editor. Inside the material editor, the standard shapes, I'm going to select a diffuse color, which is a bitmap, and the wormhole way cover. Actually, I had this picture before. Those are the pictures of stars. I selected open. And inside the diffuse parameters, I'm just going to set it to be 100 the color. That's good. I'm just going to have a little bit of opacity, which is 90. That's nice. I want to apply it into two sides. Face map is not. Okay, that's good. I just want to make it a little bit of glow. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with it. Once I decide my material, I just put that material on my loft body. Okay, now when I render it for once, this is the shape what we have now. A good one, I like it. What I'm going to do now is, I just want to see how it looks from the camera. So I'm just turning my perspective look inside the camera, and I'm rendering it for one more time. Okay, this is what the camera is observing. That's good, I like it. I just want to make only one more change. I'm in the perspective look because it looks in gray. That's disturbing. Okay, I'm just going to change the material editor's feature that show me the colors. Okay, now it's showing me the colors. I'm just going to make only one more change. From the create section, I'm just going to select the standard parameters, the plane. Okay, here's the plane. This is just a plane shape. I'm just going to select the material editor, and I'm just going to select the standard parameters, the diffuse color, bitmap. It is end of the wormhole. Yeah, it's Lishik University. That's good. And I'm just going to select it now in here. The color is fully on. And I'm just going to assign it to the here. And let me put it this way. That's good. Okay, now we see the Lishik University text in here. I'm just going to move it a little bit. This way, that's good. So I'm just going to rotate my shape in a way that we will see that shape when we are out from the wormhole. So I'm just going to place it in here. Just a minute. Let me just see. Okay, this is the end of the wormhole, and I'm just going to move it a little bit this way. That's good. And okay, let me push it a little bit backwards. Okay, here it is. And that's good. I like it. So let's see the thing in the perspective. Okay, camera. Now let me play it. Now it's traveling inside that wormhole. And the Işık University is coming. Actually, the Işık University is having rotated. Okay, I just need to change the perspective look. Okay, let me just go for the perspective look. Okay, I'm just going to change this into the rotation here. Just a minute. Okay, let me just try. Maybe this or maybe other way. I'm just going to change the camera mode and let me play it for one more time. Okay, that's way better. I'm just going to change it into perspective look for one more time. Here it is. Okay. It is far beyond the camera's observation area. I'm just going to bring it a little bit closer only. And that's good. Let me just record it for one more time. Actually, this is not recording, that's just a try. I click the camera again. Let me just play it. Okay, that's way better. Okay, let it be like that. Now, if you are happy with this sort of practices and if you want to render it as video, because after now we are not going to render just the pictures, we are going to render the videos. To render a video, you need to click on this render setup. From the render setup, you will not render only a single frame. You will render all the active time segments from starting till the end. And because we don't have time to render it in a perfect way, I'm just going to render it in a small in dimension. It is 320 by 240. And then you need to click the place where you save your files. If you don't change the place, it will save it inside the documents, inside the 3D Studio Max, inside the render output. But I want to render it outside to the desktop. Okay, worm underscore hole. Okay, so I'm just going to save it as AVI. It's a video format. Once you save, it says that will you want to compress it? I'm just going to make it uncompressed and I click OK. And once you are ready with the setups, once you are ready with the setup, here we have a button. Actually, because of the resolution, I have a problem. You can just click this teapot picture. Once you click the teapot picture, it renders all those frames. Now it's rendering all the frames. This is what happens when you are actually what the animation studios are doing. After they build the animation, they are rendering it. And the rendering is happening for every frame for once. Okay, that's good. Now the Işık University is coming. Oh, that's a good ending. I like it. So let me just run the video now. Wormhole is the video now. Let me just play it. So this is a sort of wormhole video. Yeah, it's a sort of time travel. Okay. Yeah. Now it's 2008. Since 2008. Okay, that's a good one. Now I'm just going to keep this recording on. Keep this file saved because in in the future I'm going to use this file for another reason. So worm hole is already there. I'm just going to replace it. Okay, what we have studied for today in the first part was about how to make the simple animations, how to use the cameras, how to animate the shapes on the paths. That's good. Actually, I was supposed to give a break now, but because after the lunch break, this room is going to be occupied too, I'm going to make it a double period. Okay? This period now, we are going to use the techniques to make this hard bodies, okay? Which we call in the 3D Studio Max as the rigid bodies. I'm just going to save this, reset everything in here. And I'm going to save now, sorry, I'm just going to set an environment for making that rigid body practice. From here, I'm just going to build a simple box. Okay, the box is going to be something like this. And from the modify section, I'm just going to make it exactly a cube. It is 30 centimeters in every dimension. After I set the cube fine, I'm just going to convert this cube into editable poly. Once I convert it into editable poly, I'm just going to make some sort of changes. Okay, first thing, I'm just going to select all the polygons of this shape, and I'm going to make inset. But while I'm insetting, I'm just going to inset every polygon by themselves. Okay? Okay, I just made the smaller boxes. That's good. Once I made this one, I'm just going to make those polygons to have bevel. It will be pushed towards inside. Okay, I'm just going to make a bevel, and I'm going to push them towards inside. Okay, let it be something like this. A good cube structure. Now, the first rigid body practice. I built this box, and if I just raise this box up in the air, and if I just play the video, we will see that nothing is happening because it is just there. It is not having any sort of effect in here yet. What I'm going to do now is this. I'm just going to rewind it. I'm just going to place it to the ground. And I will just see the shape from the top. And I'm just going to bring it to the center. That's good. After I place it down on the center, I'm just going to have some copies of it. I just want to have, okay, let's say 7 copies in here. 7 copies in one direction. That's good. I'm just going to drag them down in here. And I'm just going to have each of them to have 7 more copies. That's good. We have lots of boxes in here, but not enough for us yet. I'm just going to see it from the left looking way as well. And I'm just going to raise them as well up in air with some amount of space. And I'm just going to have 7 more copies in here. So here we have a cube built by the cubes. That's good. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make them behave as a real life bodies. I'm just going to close the layout viewport, and I'm just going to right click on an empty spot, and I will just turn on the massFx toolbar. massFx toolbar is a toolbar which is letting us to behave, letting the objects behave like a real life objects are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select all these objects. Once I select these all objects, I'm going to assign them to be dynamic rigid bodies. Dynamic rigid bodies. Actually, we have 3 types of rigid bodies, but I'm going to assign it dynamic rigid body for now. I will show what the others mean after a while. Once I set them dynamic rigid bodies, okay, let me just check. You can see in here that massFx rigid body has been applied in here. Once the rigid body feature is applied, if you play it now, something will change. Actually, nothing will change. The playing button of the rigid bodies is not here. If you have the rigid bodies, so you need to play it from here. So once you play, let's see what's going to happen. They are falling down and shaking a little bit because it has a sort of gravity. They are shaking, something is falling back. Yeah, that's good. And still they are shaking. Okay, it's like a real life structure is. What if I want to blast them all? Okay, as a bad guy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put here a sort of force. The force what I'm going to do in here is actually inside the crate section. Here we have space wrappers. Inside the space wrappers I'm going to put here a P-bump. So that is a bump. Okay? I'm going to place this P-bump from top. I'm just going to place it somewhere in the center in here. That's good. And from left, I'm just going to rise it up. Okay, that's in here. Now, this P-bump is going to blast in 30th frame. And it is going to blast for 1 frame duration, not too much. And the strength is 1. Strength is 1. That's good. Now, I'm just going to see that in here. Let us play. And let's wait till the 30th frame. What will happen? I'm just going to play. Boom! Nothing happened. Okay, the case in here, yes, we have the P-bump there, but that P-bump is not connected with our objects. So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to select all those boxes, what we have just generated. And while these boxes are selected, we need to open this setup button. Here I click the setup button. It will open. Come on. It should open a window. I'm just waiting it. Or okay, I will just make it something else. I will first of all open the window. Come on. Okay. I'm just going to select the multi-object parameters, but where it is? It should open us a multi-object selector in here. Let me close it and open the massFx toolbar for one more time. I'm just going to drag it out. Let's see will it work or not. It is somewhere in here. Okay, we have a problem. I'm just going to pause the... So what I'm going to do here again, I'm just going to select the boxes. After I select the boxes, I click this multi-object editor. And in here, we have different parameters. The parameter what I'm going to add in here is, I'm just going to reduce them so I can see the forces. I'm going to add a force in here. The force is going to be that P-bump. Once I click the P-bump, as you can see that, for example, when I select it, the P-bump is an applied force in here. That's good. Let me just out from that window. Let me just play the animation for one more time. And let's see what will happen when the frame came to 30th frame. Play. Okay, it's falling down. When they come to 30, okay, it blasted, but not so strong. So we need to change some features of the blast. So what I'm going to do is, I just select the P-bump, and I'm just going to give a strength for it. I want the strength to be 3 strength and spherical. Okay, that's good. So the 3 is the strength. Let me try it again. I'm just going to play it. Okay, it's falling down at 30th frame. Okay, now it's a little bit more of pushing, and they're all falling down. You're not supposed to calculate anything in here. It is being done itself. What if I give a greater amount of strength? Okay, I select the P-bump, and I'm just going to give a greater amount of strength and the blast is going to be longer in duration, 3 frames. Okay, so once I'm happy with the setup, let me play it again. It's going to fall down at 30. Now it is more of blasting. Okay, that is in here just by the massFx engine, and it is just doing it very fine. What if I want to make 2 blasts? Okay, the bad guy doesn't work. Okay, I'm just going to take my P-bump at the left looking. Okay, at the left looking, the P-bump is going to be placed somewhere down in here, in this corner. And I'm just going to have one more P-bump. It is dragged up in here, somewhere down, okay, at this part. Now we have 2 P-bumps going to be blast in different timings. This is going to be blast at 50th frame, and it's going to be blast a bit more stronger, 7 the strength. And now let's see what will happen. I'm just going to play the practice now. Okay, it's going to be falling down. At 30th frame, one is blasting. At 50th frame, that one is blasting. Did we miss something? Yes. We haven't assigned bumps to the objects. So let us assign it. I just select the box, the top one, and I select the box in the bottom one, and I select the multi-object editor, and I'm just going to add in here the second P-bump as well. The P-bump 2. Okay, which one is 2? Okay, this one is 2. I add the second P-bump as well. So let me just see the effect. Okay, let's play the animation. It's falling down. At 30th frame, first is blasting. At 50th frame, the second one is blasting. Okay, so you can just play with these things and you can just make really different sort of animations. Resume. Okay, now we have seen this example. I'm just going to don't save it. No, thank you very much. Sorry. Reset. Don't save it. Yes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make an example of dominoes. Okay, domino stones. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to enlarge this viewport, and I'm just going to draw a box in here. And this is the box what I draw as a representative of the domino. What I'm going to do, first I will apply the force. Second, I will apply another thing. Okay, let me just show you that. From the top looking direction, I just select this object, and I'm just going to drag in here by having, let's say, 15 copies. Okay, now we have 15 dominoes in here. That's good. I'm just going to have one more copy of it. Okay, one copy, but this time I'm just going to rotate it a little bit this way. And let me just have one more copy of this one too. And I'm just going to rotate it again a little bit. And I'm just going to move it. Okay. Okay, I just have a domino effect in here. That's good. And I just put several stones in here. That's all. In the perspective look, here we have them. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push the first one, and the rest will fall accordingly. Let's try. I'm just going to select all the domino stones. After I select the domino stones, I'm just going to make a dynamic rigid body. Once they're all dynamic rigid bodies, I'm just going to apply a push. Okay, this is like a spring look. I'm just going to apply a push, only the first one. From the left. Okay, from the top, I'm just going to bring it in here, and from the left. Okay, that's good. So let's see it from the perspective look. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to select the first one only. I'm just going to select the first one only. In the modify section, I can just drag it down. And in here, forces, I can just add this push force. Okay? The push is in here now. Then I'm just going to select the push. I will say that it will be on at the frame number 5. And it will be off in the frame number 6. It will push for only for once. That's good. I'm just going to place it in here, inside in here. That's good. And let's play it now. When I play, actually it pushed, but the power was so weak. Let me just make it a little bit stronger. Let it be 10. And let me just apply the push now. There's something wrong. Okay, let me just... I guess I just made the mistake about the direction. I'm just going to try this way. That is strange. Let me give bigger the force. Only one box. Only the first box. Okay? Okay, let me try it now. Okay, it's working now. I'm just going to apply it this way. And let me try it again. Okay, it's working, but the force is so weak, I'm just going to increase the force. 200. Okay, let's play it. And now they are all falling. Okay, let me just go for the perspective look back again. Okay, let's play the animation again now. Now at 5th frame, it's just pushing the first one, and then they are all falling in here, in this way. That's good, but I'm just going to make one more thing, then it's over. Actually, that's the thing what I need to show you that. What I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to delete this force. The force is not in here anymore. I'm just going to build one more box. Okay, this is the box. What I'm going to do about this box, I'm just going to see it from the left look. I'm just going to move it in here and up in here. That's good. From the top, okay, from the perspective, I can just make it. I'm just going to rotate it a little bit this way. It's just being turned in this way. Perspective. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it up a little bit. And after I move it up a little bit, I'm just going to make this a static rigid body. Static rigid bodies are those rigid bodies which are not affected from the force or other hits. It stays there. Okay? And then I'm just going to make one more fact. I'm just going to put in here the sphere from the top. I'm just going to draw a sphere in here. And I'm just going to take that sphere up in the air in here. That's good. Let me just see. It's better up a little bit more and add here. That's good. From the top. Okay, that's good. Now, once I put this ball up in the air, I'm just going to define this ball to be a dynamic rigid body. I just made it a dynamic rigid body. And let's play it now. What will happen? Okay, that's good. I'm just going to make it sphere. Okay, let's play the animation now. I'm playing it. It's falling on the object, hitting the first one, and that is making the others to be pushed. Okay, so this is just the beginning of how to make the animations in the 3D Studio Max, and we will make it more and more after a few weeks.